Hey guys, so it's the end of the day. I went to an appointment and then I went into the office to actually talk to my boss about a bit of stuff and picked up some samples as well that I needed. So today has actually been pretty busy. So I guess what I want to talk about today is another outlet of mine when I have anxiety or I can't necessarily sleep because of anxiety, which was me last night. So one of the outlets that I'm talking about, obviously, is I write in a journal. I write down everything that's bugging me for the day, or I'll just write down basically what's going on in my mind, which can sometimes be a little crazy. Sometimes I don't even understand it. So I have to go back and reread it weeks later to really truly understand what my brain was trying to tell me or to try and get across, because obviously it's something on my mind. So I'm going to read you guys what I wrote last night when I wasn't able to sleep. Okay. February 21st, 2018. Spirituality is about becoming more connected to the self and all that is. It is completely beautiful and magical to experience. The question is, though, how do we get to that point? How do we become more spiritual and more aware of the ride down the spiritual path? And what is it really like? There is a dark side to spirituality awakenings, and to be frank, most of the time it's messy. The road to uncovering your spiritual self is generally pretty bumpy, full of thick mud, and there are many roadblocks. I will not sit here and lie to you, pretending that I am an enlightened guru with a perfect knowledge of life. I will not tell you that spirituality is perfect and beautiful all the time. It's not. Spirituality becomes beautiful once you realize that the journey is what you make it. Becoming more spiritual means that you have to be able to look at yourself, other people, and situations with little to no bias. Spirituality teaches us to love those who have hurt us the most. It teaches us to see the lessons in every wound before we begin to heal. That doesn't quite paint a perfect picture of Zen, does it? Isn't spirituality supposed to be calming and make you happier? A lot of people don't know this, but what usually triggers a spiritual awakening is a life-changing or traumatic event. These eventful seasons in our lives often send us into a spiral, sometimes upward, other times downward. We then start to look at life from a different perspective, and oftentimes this leads to a spiritual treasure hunt. We start seeking answers, knowing that there must be a reason for all that is happening. New sensations might even show up, as hearing, feeling, and seeing more. Finally, we begin to accept the idea that there may be more to this experience than what meets the eye. Again, we search for answers. When we awaken, we often feel really disconnected from the people around us, as if they are peeling away from our old lives. It is a beautiful, confusing, and painful time all at once. What is actually happening is that our soul is waking up and it's looking to unbury those who we truly are. But how can we unbury our authentic selves without unburying the aspects of ourselves that we dislike the most? How can we heal aspects of ourselves without first acknowledging the wounds? Waking up means looking at everything around you. You must look at yourself, your life, and those in your life. You have to stare deeply into the situations appearing before you. This is when the healing feels and the transformation starts. Spirituality takes us on a journey when we are uncovering ourselves. It doesn't take us down this path to hurt us or to harm us, but instead to heal us and help us to become whole again. We have to remember that raising our vibrations doesn't mean just living a positive life. Trying to live a positive life all the time takes a lot of work if you're still broken inside. You have to return to your authentic self in order to allow aligning your vibrations with that of a truly spiritual experience. To return to your authentic self, you have to heal all of the wounds you wish not to see. The road to becoming more spiritual is usually a bumpy one, full of thick mud, and there are many roadblocks. but the journey is beautiful and the landscape is breathtaking. So that's what I wrote last night. Obviously, as you can tell, I'm a spiritual believer. I think there comes a point in our life, maybe not for everybody. Again, this is just me and my thoughts about it, where we do experience something that changes us forever and opens us up as a person, and makes us really think back on all the stuff that we have done wrong and to come to terms with it. I guess for me, I would have to say my spiritual awakening was probably about 2 years ago. One day I woke up and just realized that I was going downhill, and I was going downhill fast, and I needed to wake up. I needed to acknowledge what was going on instead of ignoring it. And I needed to forgive not only the situation that happened and the people that were involved, but I also needed to forgive myself for everything that I did, because nobody's perfect and you make mistakes. So it's like I said right there, spirituality is one hell of a bumpy road. It's not always beautiful. It's very painful. It's just kind of just the way it is. You change completely as a person. I feel like I acknowledge a lot more than I used to, and I think that's huge. So all I can say to you guys is, if you haven't had a spiritual awakening, it'll come for you. And if it doesn't, then maybe you don't need one. It's everybody's different. Everybody has a different experience. But for me, it's been quite enlightening. It's opened up my mind to a whole new realm of the world and how we are as people. I truly believe we all have souls that carry on for a longer time than just our body life. I feel like we expand into the universe and suck up all this knowledge for a reason. And the only way we can move on is obviously by letting go of the past, which is almost impossible to do. So that's what the spiritual journey is about, is to teach you to forgive yourself. So anyways, I'm going to just hang out for the rest of the night and kind of just have a chill day. Tomorrow I am watching The Girls, and I've also got a hair appointment too, which is kind of nice. So yeah. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later.